Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Ryan. And I think actually this is the last request for Ryan. So Ryan, thank you for all the requests. I appreciate all the generosity. Sorry it took a while to get to them, but thank you. That's very kind of you. And this is for a commentary on the film Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, which I believe I did review. I think I mentioned that review. I wasn't that big on the movie, but I guess Ryan still wanted to hear my thoughts, which is fine. I'm fine with a commentary, whether I like or dislike the film. I'm fine with doing a commentary, so that's fine. But, long story short, for those interested requesting any type of videos, whether it be a random thought, stream, commentary, video game playthrough, review, re-review of a movie, or what have you, tier list rankings, feel free to send it. PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. So I'm paused at the beginning. Let's get this show on the road. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Now I don't remember how this did at the box office. As the Paramount logo is going up, I could just look it up real quick. I don't know why I care. I'm just always curious about how a film did or didn't do well. Again, I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't affect me, but... So the film cost about $140 million. But it only made $118 million in the U.S., It made 92 million foreign, so 211 million worldwide on a $140 million budget. That's not good at all. Because 140 million just for your budget, then hell, marketing, let's just say it's half of that. You know what, let's be nice. Let's say it's 40 million, just to be nice. 180 million, just to be nice. It's probably a lot more of that with marketing, but let's just to be nice. 180 million total. 211 million, I mean, the theaters did a chunk of change. People overseas, they did a chunk of change. This didn't make any profit at all, which is why, now I know why, there's no sequels to this. I will say this kind of interesting way to start with the stop motion animation reminds you of kind of those, maybe those Christmas ones back in the day. Not so much the theme, but just the style. And then Jude Law narrating. Now, I never read the books this was based on, so I do not know the source material. I did see parts of the TV show that they did years and years later. They got reviewed. I don't know if I reviewed all of them, but I reviewed a good chunk of them because those were requests. And I don't know, I go back and forth. Like this, they definitely try to put a lot into one movie. While in that, it's like they imagine this one film and they spaced it into 4, 5, 6 parts. Maybe less than that. But I mean, each one has their caveat. This one will feel a little bit faster paced. The other one will feel a bit more, maybe, built up. I will say, like, while most people prefer Jim Carrey's performance, I probably say I like Neil Patrick Harris's performance more. Maybe because, as dumb as it sounds, I mean, it was a little bit more subdued. So I was not just seeing the actor, I was seeing the character. Here it's just kind of Jim Carrey overacting, which sometimes can be fun. I mean, I love Ace Ventura, both of them. Definitely some interesting visuals in this, though. Sorry, that's what I was looking at, like the low flower thing and stuff. Or that shot there where she's hanging off the table with her teeth. Seems like she's the damn baby from Adam's Family Values. Sorry, I'm listening to Jude Law's narration. But I was saying there are certain Jim Carrey roles that just go a little bit far in the acting where I just enjoyment kind of lessens and annoyance rises. And I know that could be different for other people. Some people you won't be bothered with that at all. For me, The Grinch, this one, maybe The Riddler and Batman Forever, like those are kind of approaching. I don't know what it is, like Ace Ventura Pet. I could deal with him. In fact, rather, Pet Detective is my favorite film he's done. Maybe it's just the cadence in his voice. Maybe just the dialogue that he says, or maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe because I just like that character a lot more. I don't know. Different strokes, different folks. But yeah, the set appears their house burned down. Parents are gone. Now, in the show, I guess this was in the books, maybe? Well, if you read the books, you could let me know. They weren't dead, and then, like, throughout. Well. Now I think about it, you kept seeing these two people, and I think either they were their parents but eventually get killed, or you find out they weren't the kids' parents, they were other people's parents. But then for some reason I still remember they get killed anyway, and that was kind of the. They did this whole build up, and they're in some dangerous adventure, and they gotta escape, and then you realize, oh, they're not who you think they are, and then they. It's been a lot while since I've seen that, and I've only seen it once, so I don't remember all the details, so I apologize. And there'd be times I like wondering like who is actually Lemony Snicket? Okay, someone that knew the kids, or to see, I don't think they got that far enough on the show, and I don't know if that show's even on anymore. Like, is that show even going on right now? Well, I mean, why don't I just look it up? Snicket TV show. Well, it says there's 3 seasons. The third and final season, 2019, 7 episodes, adapts the remaining 4 books. So I don't know if I saw that stuff. Yeah, Will Arnett and them, yeah, because Will Arnett and his wife, you thought they were the lead kid's parents, but they're not. They were these other kids called the Quagmire's parents. And yeah, I don't remember. So 2017 there were 8 episodes, 2018 there were 10 episodes, and 2019 there were 7 episodes. I think that's Catherine O'Hara from Home Alone and a series of other movies. But I think most people remember her as the mom in Home Alone. Now, of these kids, I think the girl, well, the baby and the girl, they do fine. They do perfectly fine with what they're given. The boy, I just did not care for the cadence of his, like, delivery of dialogue. It just felt so monotone and lifeless, and I just didn't care for it at all. I did not like this kid's performance. I don't know if I really liked him on the TV show either. I don't know. I'll be honest, the more I think about it, the less I remember that damn show. Now, this was 2004, so this is a time when Jim Carrey was still, know, pretty up there in terms of popularity. I mean, yeah, I think in the 90s he had success with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask, all in the same year, 1994. Humongous year. Then 95, you got Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls. You got Batman Forever, both hits again. The Cable Guy, which I do like, but it didn't do that well. But then you had Liar Liar, and that did well. You had The Truman Show, and that did well. And from time to time, he would try to do some different things. Man on the Moon, that would not do well. Like that part I found kind of funny. Him doing this because he can't remember the names. So Liam Aiken is the boy. Now I wonder if that was ad lib. That let's do that again. Emily Browning is the girl. She was in the horror film Ghost Ship, which I completely forgot about that film. Timothy Spall is the banker, who's Knit the Rat and Chicken Run, Peter Pettigrew and 5 Harry Potter films. I didn't realize Nickelodeon Movies purchased the film rights to this. So it is Barry Sonnenfeld was going to direct. Sonnenfeld admitted he was skeptical of Paramount's $100 million budget. Paramount settled the situation in January 2003 by enlisting help from DreamWorks Pictures to co-finance the film. Barry Sonnenfeld vacated the director's position, and then they had nothing with the film afterward. They were credited as producers, but they had nothing to do with it. Sorry, I was just looking that bit up. See, I think with this film, it will depend on how much you enjoyed Jim Carrey and his performance. If you did a big kick out of it, then you'll enjoy the film. For me, I go back and forth. And yeah, I like Jim Carrey. I mean, I've liked him in the new Sonic films. Which I guess, to be honest, is really the only films, some of the only films he does nowadays. But I mean, I guess why not? He gets paid a ton of money. He just paid a ton of money, and yeah, they allow him to do, seems like, whatever he wants, and there you go. Damn, look at all those plates. I'd be wondering how the hell they use all those damn plates in the first place. Just the idea is that they've been using these plates for years and just never bother wash it. So what, they just go out and buy new plates, I guess? God, look at that outfit Jim Carrey has. Jesus. Let's say if a pimp was in Africa. You feel bugs. Maybe bugs will work. Maybe they like broken glass. Maybe that could be their meal. Sorry, I'm not saying that. I'm just kind of watching along. But I was talking about Jim Carrey around this time. Like, he was still fairly popular, and even when he got to the 90s, 2000s, did every film he do was a hit? No. Like I said, Man on the Moon did not do well. I never saw that documentary about him making that film and how method he got. In other words, him being a dick. But what was it? It's around that time that he did. Bruce Almighty was 2003, and that did fairly well. And even Me, Myself, and Irene did okay. I think they did make like over 100 million, so it did okay. Not Dumb and Dumber numbers, but it did all right. And I think that's a fun film. But yeah, Bruce Almighty kind of put him a little bit back on top. And I did see it in the theater, Bruce Almighty, which I like. I think the whole God stuff, they could have... Now, that bit with the T-Rex, I think if you looked at the guy, you see the guy's face like ready to smile. Kind of like, you tell his smile was ready to perk up because they didn't realize he was going to do that T-Rex pose where he's trying to bite the guy. Like snapping his jaws at the guy. But anyway, Bruce Almighty I did see in the theater. I liked. Like I said, I didn't love it, but I like it. I think the stuff with the god powers, it felt like they could have done a bit more with that, or maybe a bit more clever stuff with that. I mean, I don't know if, the most clever thing to do is, butties coming out of God's butt. But granted, it's a scene people remember from it. And then this year, you had Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I believe I did see that in the theater as well, and that I thought was rather good. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind I thought was very creative, at times heartfelt, at times sad, at times just very imaginative of being within the mind, and like when the whole world, like, things keep disappearing or pulling away, and just how they did that visually. See, yeah, there's some moments like you do, ooh, like I kind of chuckle at, and then there's other moments where he's like in the chair or like, it's like, oh, come on, man. So that's what I try to go back and forth with it, but yeah, kind of surprised this didn't. I mean, I guess maybe they thought with like Harry Potter films of that nature, these type of big budget. I don't even call it a kids film. It's a film with kids in it, but I'm assuming they were hoping for that audience, where these kind of these, I don't know what you call them, young adult novels, however you want to put it. Again, stuff like Harry Potter. That franchise becoming such a big hit. So what other franchises, what other books can we use to have our own franchise? And again, this had multiple books, so I'm sure they were hoping to get, I would say, at least a trilogy out of this. Maybe 4 if they're lucky, but I don't know. Maybe it's the title. Maybe it's like the marketing, the trailer. They go, I don't know if I really need to see this. I mean, it's not because Jim Carrey played a villain. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I mean, there's other reasons why that was a hit, but people warned, oh my god, Jim's a villain. I mean, Jim was a villain as the Riddler in Batman Forever. That didn't matter, so no, it's not because he was a villain or anything. Maybe they're like me, where I saw the marketing and went, I'm not interested. Doesn't seem like I'm interested in the story. Doesn't seem like I'm interested in the plot of the film. I think this, I mean, obviously the show must have done well enough to get 3 seasons, but maybe it's a tough sell for people. For some people, that is. Not all. But for some people, that, the story is a bummer. Is a consistent series of bummer after bummer after bummer, like the title suggests. Not everybody likes to watch that stuff. I like the little detail that has like 5 mirrors up there. Just knows that little detail. I'm not going to say I hate this film. I don't hate the film. I think I said in my review, it's just not for me. See, I think just like his accent, or hello, stuck for a treat. Now this scene I remember enjoying. This is when I believe they're slowly. Is it like a train coming? Because I do remember the editing of this being fairly well done, where it builds up tension and you're able to understand what's going on. 11:15, when the train arrives. But yeah, I thought the way this scene was edited, I thought was fairly well done. Man, it's been a long while since I had one of those bottles where you actually had to take the thing and pop the cap off. One of those glass bottles, but forever. Because sometimes some soda tastes a bit better because it's more contained because of the glass and stuff. See, I would have started off with that. See, my first thing would have been help us, our car's trapped on train tracks. Again, I would have started off with that. But yeah, the camera movements showing where everything's at, the different angles they use to keep the tension building. Now that little elf toy, that was the stop motion thing we saw at the beginning of the film, so a little bit of connection there. It also shows each of the kids' assets. The boy comes up with the idea, she comes up with the invention, the baby's able to utilize her teeth to help build the thing. That's a hell of a shot. Yeah. Be hopeful that thing doesn't break. I'm sure that was done on purpose, having the Lon Chaney on the newspaper to see that Carl looks a little similar to Lon Chaney, a little bit. The Phantom of the Opera look, a little bit. I think, again, one of the things that just annoyed the hell out of me, which is, I know the purpose of the stuff. It's just how oblivious everybody is to what's going on. especially the guy in the TV show that would play this type of character that not Jim but the other guy who carried the luggage was playing, the banker. He was aggravating on the show, which is just how damn oblivious he was. Because there's not as much of this guy, he's not as irritating as the character was on the show. But man, just so consistently aggravating of just how fucking oblivious. But again, see, like most of the adults are oblivious, which again, I know that's part of the point. But it's like, god damn, man. I would be curious for those who are hardcore fans of the book, which one they prefer. Do they prefer the movie or do you prefer the TV show? Now here's Billy Connolly, which he's done a lot of stuff. He was in Boondock Saints. He was in the X-Files, I Want to Believe, where he played the priest who apparently liked kids a bit too much, and he was also a psychic and trying to help the agents find these missing people. Yeah, I like Billy Connolly. He's a good character actor. But I don't think in the movie they get too much into the whole secret society thing as they did on the show, which I guess was part of the book. I'm just going to type real quick. Or TV. So I'm just looking. This is what one person says. That's a cool effect, that practical frog that's got 3 red eyes. Isn't this the Viper that actually is not that bad? It's actually very friendly. At least he was, I think, on the show. Yeah, doesn't the baby like calm it down or something like that? So the 2004 film, they said they liked the opening with the stop motion, the costume design, the train car escape scene, the ending with the letter and the spyglass. They thought on the show Olaf was more threatening and less of a goofy madman. So it says here this kid, Liam Aiken, he actually won the role of Harry Potter before he lost it to Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if that's true, but that's actually interesting. God, imagine if you're this kid where you have the chance of being Harry Potter, which I think Daniel Radcliffe was the better choice. I can see why they chose him. But I think that film would have been a hit regardless just because of how popular those books were. And like he would have had a set career because those books would have kept those movies kept going for so long. I guarantee they made a ton of money from that. A ton of stuff. So this could be like, man, I could have been that. I could have been going through all that. But then you do this film and it's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna fucking, one film. I have to look up what else he's done. If my phone would work. Because I know, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about much about what's on stream, but it's, the snake, of course, it's going to be CGI, at least the big Viper thing. The others, credit to Billy Connolly for letting snakes on him. I'd be freaked out. I don't like snakes. I do not like snakes at all. I'd be too paranoid about them. I don't know. I don't think that is. Uh, I mean, that's Jude Law's voice. I don't know that that's his body though. Which, if not, then I don't really know why they didn't just use his body. I do like that the kids immediately recognize who he is. So I do like that because it does make the kids seem smarter and not as dumb, not as naive. And then the boy, just the way he reacts, like, "You're Olaf. I'm not letting you in." I'm trying to remember. Do they mention why they don't just tell him right off the bat? Or do they tell him and they just don't believe him? I mean, I don't remember. And I think this did win an Oscar for Best Makeup. Yeah, it looks like I did win an Academy Award for Best Makeup, so. I guess it won something there, though. And Brad Silberling directed, that's it, right? The guy who did Casper. Which I like Casper, I don't mind Casper. Also, for people, if you remember City of Angels, that film with Nick Cage and Meg Ryan, so he directed that film as well. It's like he's trying to state things very distinct with every sentence that he says. So this kid, this boy, he was in Stepmom, which I forgot that movie existed. Road to Perdition. Is he who I think he is in that? Okay, yeah, he played the son in Road to Perdition. So that, I'm sure that led to him getting the opportunity to try to do Harry Potter this role. Because Road to Perdition, he wasn't bad in. I don't remember him being bad in that movie. So maybe it was the way he was directed. I don't know. But what, a film called Fade Grim with Parker Posey. The Killer Inside Me with Casey Affleck. Girls Against Boys. Okay, these are all the films that kid did after this. Fade Grim, The Killer Inside Me, Electric Children, Girls Against Boys, Nor'easter, Munchausen, a silent short horror film by Ari Aster. Oh, great. How to Be a Man, Ned Rifle, The Frontier. Have you heard of any of these fucking films? Because I sure as hell haven't. The Emoji Movie he was a voice in. The Bloodhound, Bashira. And then he's in 2022 he did a short film called A Soldier's Heart. And then there's some film called Montauk, called Teen Fish previously. Slated to be released 2021, but has not been released as of today. So, Best Makeup won, received nomination for Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, and Best Original Score. So it says here, Jim Carrey thought his character would be good as the basis for a film franchise, since each installment would feature new disguises for Count Olaf, allowing him to dive into a new role each time. But he didn't have a deal for a sequel. In May 2005, producers said there's something Paramount was interested in pursuing. We're going to be talking with them. Maybe they told you that, but they looked at the box office and went, no. I mean, if it made this little, then if we make another one, I mean, do you really think it's going to make that much more money? In October 2008, sequences seem to be in the works. Paramount has had quite a few corporate shakeouts, which has led to many delay. Of course, many plans in Hollywood come to naught, but I'm assured that another film would be made. Yeah, not quite. 2009, confirmed he still talked about the project. Suggested the sequel be a stop-motion film, with each film a new medium, due to young actors having grown too old to continue their roles, saying, in an odd way, Best thing you just do is actually have Lemony Snicket say to the audience, "Okay, pawn the first film off as a mere dramatization with actors. Now I'm afraid I'm going to have to show you the real thing." And then 2014 Netflix TV show, 3 seasons, and there you go. So. So now we have Cedric the Entertainer. Definitely kind of a weird choice for this type of role. It's not really the first, second, or third guy you would think to choose as this detective for this time period, for this type of film. But, you know, Cedric the Entertainer, I'm indifferent on. Fairly indifferent. I don't I don't like him. I don't hate him. There's some stuff he's in that I did chuckle at. Like, I'll be honest. What was it? A Haunted House with Marlon Wayans? He's one of the only things I liked about that film. Like, each time he popped up in a haunted house, he did make me laugh. Tic-tac-toe in your face. Like, I thought he was easily the best thing in that film. Yeah, this is where you don't see that the snake is actually very friendly and treats the baby very well. Yep, there you go. Now, like that idea, why it's CGI. I mean, it's a baby, it's a little child. You obviously not gonna have a real snake, and if it was a practical, there could be the danger of what if something goes wrong, what if something goes haywire, and the baby can't doesn't have the instincts to defend itself, all that stuff. So that idea, why you would use CGI, I understand that. I'm trying to think of the TV show if they did a little bit more with the snake. I just because like in this you only have maybe 10, 15 minutes at most with each of these, but then on the show you'd have like a full hour or maybe a little bit less than that to flesh things out. But yeah, obviously because you don't have so much time for a movie, they don't go into much of the secret society and all that jazz. Like, it wasn't until I saw the show that I even knew that was part of the story. Now here we have Meryl Streep, which I saw in another movie Ryan had requested, Kramer versus Kramer, which I did like. Thought that was a good film. Well acted. Won a ton of Oscars when it came out. Kramer versus Kramer. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress. Because Meryl Streep was out of the film a whole lot. So that's why they put her as Supporting Actress. But, good actress. Meryl Streep. I'm not gun-ho about this film, but I still remember her performance from Death Becomes Her and her having fun with that role. But yeah, the way I'm reacting now, where I'm mostly silent, that's kind of how I felt watching the film when I reviewed it, and it's just kind of I never they really draw me in. I didn't really get that entangled with the story. I mean, sometimes it's hard to explain as to why that is. Maybe because I'm not gun ho about the characters. I mean, Emily Browning, she's doing a decent enough job. The boys is kind of whatever. The baby, has some cute moments. And it does, weirdly enough, since it was a TV show, it does feel very episodic. They're at Orloff's place, then they go off to Billy Connolly's place, then they go off to Meryl Streep's place. So that's where you get a little bit of the secret society stuff, a little bit. But yeah, I don't remember how much they delve into that in this movie. I know in the show they delved into it more. I do think one thing that hurt this film was just how much it cost. I mean, I get that it wants to have this environment and the way the buildings look, but I don't think this film needed to cost $140 million. I don't know what Jim Carrey's paycheck was. I'm sure they paid a decent sum because they figured he would bring in the masses. He would be the big money maker. He'd be the big money draw of it all. Obviously, it didn't work out for this film, but I get the sentiment. I get the reasoning. I think it definitely helped with Sonic. I mean, I like the games I played, and he's a very popular character. But I think they definitely Jim Carrey being in them helped with the box office. Because there are people that were curious about Jim's performance, and I haven't seen him in a while. That kind of sentiment. So I think the idea with her character is that back then she was a pretty brave person, but now she's just afraid of like everything. See, scenes like that where they show the whole like, little village, I'm sure, is what brought the budget up. You know, building all that stuff. And that's not even as good as disguise. He pretty much looks like Olaf, except he's got a little bit of beard here. That great idea, and I like that the kids don't fall for it, and these other people, they never met Olaf. And in the kid's performance, he's lying. He's Count Olaf. It's just like, really? Is that really the director? Is that really the performance you want out of the guy, man? Out of the kid, really? Just grab the fucking thing and pull it off. You both grab it, you pull it off. Oh, you got a leg, huh? What happened? That leg just grew on its own? So I think that girl on the right, I think that was Jennifer Coolidge, I believe. Which, if so, I just saw her in that movie, a Minecraft movie. And I believe Stifler's mom in American Pie. I'm like, you know what happened to the other guy. You should expect, some bad shit to happen. Should always be on watch with your nerves. sure you want to be doing this in this house? Maybe find a different place, a safer place. There goes the big CGI stuff. I'm sorry, I just don't know really what to say in these scenes. I mean, obviously you don't have CGI utilized because you don't want the kids to be in danger. I would probably say, other than the car escape, this is the other more notable set piece. At least there's some practicality involved with some of this stuff. Nowadays, every single thing would be CGI, but there's... Why just watch that? I'd be like, why are we just watching this? Why don't we run? Why don't we get the hell out of Dodge? But we're just watching all this shit. That's a hell of a jump. Ideas? Put your head between the legs and kiss your ass goodbye? That's an idea. May not be a worthwhile idea, but it is an idea. You didn't ask for good ideas, you just asked for ideas. She's an inventor, guy. Just listen to her. She's a little MacGyver. And I mean the Richard Dean Anderson MacGyver, not the bullshit reboot that they had of MacGyver. When I say MacGyver, I'm talking about the original, the one, the only actual MacGyver. Damn. Watch it, watch it, watch it. I apologize. This commentary isn't really much in terms of me talking because again, this just I don't know how many times I repeat myself. It just isn't my kind of movie. This isn't my kind of stuff. Like Harry Potter, I remember liking some of the Harry Potter films, but at the same time, I've only seen those films one time, and that's it. One time. Never really cared to bother to watch any more after that. Just never did. Just like, whatever. I did not because I hated. In fact, some of them I liked, some of them I didn't like. But if you were to quiz me what happened in the Goblet of Fire, I'd be like, I don't know. What happened in this one? I don't know. I don't remember. You don't remember? You're right. I don't remember. I don't remember a damn thing about it. So, sorry. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it. So. I mean, I remember in this where they find the aunt Meryl Streep, and then there's a boat. There's these leeches. She gets killed by the leeches. It was pretty not graphic visually, but the idea of being eaten alive by leeches definitely fits with the unfortunate business of the title. So you have this kind of orange viewpoint, interesting visual cue. So here we're getting a little bit more of the lore, which again, they didn't want to fully encapsulate it because they thought they were going to make a franchise and you'll be revealed sequel after sequel. Of course, she fucked it up. She fucked it up for them all. I'd be like, why are we trying to sail to the damn coastline quicker than this. God damn it. Yeah, I'll pal your ass when I find you. Go roll your ass till it bleeds. Should have been palling the whole goddamn time, man. Yeah, but with the bad guy in it, it's gonna be Count Olaf. Yeah, I think people realized who this was gonna be, no matter even before Jude Law started talking. You think he would have had threw something to make the boat explode or something, and then they would all die, and then he would get the inheritance anyway. Like that little reaction that Jim has. Thank you. That was kind of funny because that was pretty much her death knell. That was her death sentence, is correcting his grammar. If she hadn't said anything, then maybe she would have lived. Man, they didn't show any of that. They didn't show any of Meryl Streep's character getting killed. I guess they thought that'd be a bit too violent, a bit too intense for younger viewers if they showed, Meryl Streep being eaten up by, even not even like sinking to the ocean or something. Again, just a consistent, like I said, I know it's part of the story, but just how consistently stupid these other adults are. Just, you guys as infuriated as the kids, which I know is the point. But just maybe go, I don't want to watch these fucking assholes. I don't want to watch this fucking bullshit. It was like that reaction. Fuck this shit. I don't want to watch this shit. That kind of thing. You're all full of shit. You're bullshit. Just want to go in there and just choke these motherfuckers for being stupid, for being so damn oblivious, so damn idiotic. That's just me, though. I forgot Dustin Hoffman was in this. Dustin Hoffman was in this movie? I completely fucking forgot. I just saw Dustin Hoffman. What the hell? I did not for the life of me remember that Dustin fucking Hoffman was in this. As a critic who attends Count Olaf's The Marvelous Marriage. Completely did not realize it. Like, I completely forgot, I should say. Wow. And that's kind of funny. I mean, because Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman are both in this, although sharing no scenes together. And they're both in Kramer versus Kramer, which I reviewed for Ryan, a little while ago. So I don't think Ryan did that on purpose. I think that was just a funny coincidence that the two stars of Kramer versus Kramer is in the same film, only not sharing the screen together. Just for what I understand, I mean, hell, I think Dustin Hoffman, from what I heard, treated Meryl Streep fairly badly on Kramer versus Kramer, and even slapped her at one point, which is uncalled for. I like Dustin Hoffman as an actor, but that shit's uncalled for, no matter what. And just this whole idea of the marriage, you're able to get away with it with this kind of film is because there's nothing sexual about it. It's literally just, we do this, people assume it's fake, it becomes real, then I get the money. So, I did because there's nothing sexually explicit or sexually suggested of it, then I think you're able to get away with it. Because if there was, it sure as hell would not have been in this film, or at least with this rating. So, there you go. Yeah. I wonder how they got Dustin Hoffman for this little bit, this little cameo. I wonder if he knew someone involved. They said, "Hey, Dustin, you want to come by for a little bit?" Or it makes me wonder how that came about. It definitely felt like in the show you saw a little bit more of the henchman as well. Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge, she's one of the people on the stage. She's on the right. She sometimes her shtick is a little bit old with that voice. But wait, look over there. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Now the bald guy in the back that's helping with the production, that guy there on the bike, that was Luis Guzman. Luis Guzman's been in a lot of stuff. And that guy right there on the right of the girl, who's like half male, half female, that guy there, that's Trade Ferguson. Which I remember liking his talk show. I remember watching bits and clips and pieces of his talk show. And I thought Trade Ferguson was actually one of the better ones. Because I liked him a lot more than Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or Jay Leno. Talk shows, I mean, if I have to, I would say Conan O'Brien was my favorite. Then probably David Letterman. But Trade Ferguson was up there. I mean, I don't know what he does nowadays, but yeah, I did remember liking his show. But I was also mentioning the guy in the bad, Luis Guzman. He's been a ton of stuff. He was in The Hard Way with James Woods. What, you don't say you ran over all these people? What, I was horny? Like Luis Guzman, if you look up, he's been a ton. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 4. That came out, a year or two ago. Yeah, a ton of stuff. I mean, you look up his credentials, it's just insane. If I'm going to do that right now. Like, look at all these films he's been in. He's in Crocodile Dundee 2, True Believer with James Woods, Black Rain, The Hard Way, also with James Woods, Carlito's Way, The Substitute, Boogie Nights. And Boogie Nights, that's when especially he was seeing him in bigger roles like Out of Sight, Snake Eyes with Nick Cage, The Bone Collector with Denzel Washington, Traffic with Michael Douglas. There's The Adventures of Pluto Nash, Anger Management. This film, he was in. What was it? Oh yeah, I forgot he was in War with Jason Statham. Journey to the Mysterious Island with The Rock with Dwayne Johnson. Beverly Hills Cop XOF. I guess he's in that new film Havoc with Tom Hardy. Yeah, I guess he's in that one. Which I have not seen. Damn, it is a 5.8 Havoc? God damn. A 5.8. Holy shit. Man, a lot of people are shitting on the movie Havoc. Wow. Although, I mean, do I really want to base it on these reviews? I mean, hell, they probably shit on Beverly Hills Cop Out to Life as well, and I liked that one. I mean, probably same thing with the shit on Cobra and some of those films back to the day. Anyway, sorry. Tangent. So you would just have the wedding here and the kids saving the baby and this thing with the eye and what does that all mean and why he would give his plan up right here, right now. I mean, you could have milked it for a bit longer, pretended for a bit longer that you were a nice guy, but to just give away that you're an evil guy in front of everybody doesn't seem like the smartest decision. I said, how do we make people finally see that he's a bad guy? Well, he pretty much just flat out fucking tells them he is. So yeah, I forgot all about that. You use mirrors and well, not the lenses to burn the paper. Completely forgot about that. See, this is why you shouldn't have told everybody you're a bad guy. You wait till you get the money and then. That's the thing. Okay, you got the paper, but you need to get the money first. Kind of a weird edit to have him like go through these different like, oh, I'm gonna drop the anchor, or I'm eaten by leeches. That's kind of a weird montage to have. Yeah, like watch this film again. Like I said, this film just isn't much for me. As you tell, this commentary had very few words to say because okay, the art direction, like some of the housing looks fine, but I don't really care either. I mean, I could say it looks fine, but it's not something that really intrigues me. The look of the film, the setting of the film, doesn't make me go, "Wow, I want to be invested in this world." I'd still say it looks fine, but it's not. You could visit a place, a building, a house, and say it looks fine. Doesn't mean you want to visit there. Trying to remember what this is. So someone gave them some mail. It is like the last gifts from the parents before they died. So I think this is going to be more clue to this whole secret society thing. We're supposed to be set for the sequels, which never happened. So she's reading the letter, and I don't think her acting is bad. I don't. I think her acting, she does what she can. Same spyglass he has. It is weird they ended it that way. Sorry, I was silent. I was listening to Jude Law's narration. But yeah, it's weird they ended that way where actually wait a minute. Oh, okay. Just the credits. Because they used the words the end and then the way Jude Law's talk is with a sense of finality. That you could just have it here and not have any more books. Granted, it still leaves questions. Who is Lemony Snicket? How does Lemony Snicket correlate with these characters? How does one know the other? And all that stuff. But it's weird they used the words the end when they were hoping this would be a franchise and adapt more books. But at the same time, I mean, maybe it's the right decision where... I mean, I don't think you need the words the end, but if there is one film, then at least this has somewhat of an ending. That's one of the things that would be really annoying if you leave it on a cliffhanger and then you don't get to make the sequel, so then you're just left with kind of a dangling thread or threads that just annoys the viewer and you don't get that sense of closure. Which, I mean, most stories you want that sense of you're doing this build up, you're on this journey, you want a finality to it. What did it all mean, or what was all purpose, or all that jazz. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say this is an awful film. It's just one of those films I'm just kind of like, I mean, I did review it. It's on the channel. You hear more concrete thoughts without so much moments of silence. And yeah, I think the little girl, she did fine. I thought the baby, she was, cute in what they had her do. The boy, I just wasn't big on his mannerisms. If that's how he's going to act, I don't know if he would have done well as Harry Potter, but that could also depend on who's directing him. Visually, some of the way the sets look, not too shabby, like the reptile place. There's CG. I mean, there's some practical at least. For example, when the house is being blown away and the big wind and storm, you see some stuff like the stove, falling towards them. It's not everything a big CGI overload where there's zero practical like some films do nowadays. Cedric the Entertainer, just weird that he's in this. It just felt kind of like, okay, just because. The henchmen and women, they definitely don't have a whole... They felt like there was more scenes with them in the show. Here, like Craig Ferguson, that could have been anybody. Same with Jennifer Coolidge. Jane Addams, I know she's done other stuff. That could have been anybody. Dustin Hoffman, that's so weird. That's like the most random cameo where he just says hi and goes, oh, I didn't know he had that type of a budget. Almost to the point that it was... Wait, Tara Hoffman, Shelby Hoffman. I wonder who... Great. I'm just curious about something now. Actually, let me just look on here. I got it pulled up. I was seeing who... So it's the little girl, Sunny. I wanted to see... Okay. I know it sounds dumb. I was seeing if somehow they were related to Dustin Hoffman. Like Dustin Hoffman maybe had kids and they had kids or grandkids or whatever. And Yeah, I would just see if there's anything. Nah, if there is, I can't find info on it. I just don't know why Dustin Hoffman did kind of that random cam. It was honestly a bit distracting, because you see him and then you go, okay, you're you're waiting to see more of him. You're waiting and expecting that more will come out of why he's here, if that makes sense. Why is he here? Is he going to say more? Is he going to do more? And then when he doesn't, it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's one of those things where, like I say, it's just seemed more distracting than anything as to what the fuck, why was Dustin Hoffman there in the first place? He's not doing anything. He's not saying. I mean, that. Never mind. I keep going on and on about it. It was just kind of out of the blue. I completely forgot he was in this damn thing. I'm like, he's in this? Dustin Hoffman? What the fuck? But yeah, he is. So there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching. Sorry to Ryan if this commentary was not the best. I honestly did not have a whole lot to say about it. Take that for you will. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.